If you're watching this video, you are probably stuck. Not stuck like I haven't picked up a baseball in 3 months, but stuck like you're doing everything you think you're supposed to be doing, you're training every single day, and ultimately you are working hard. And somehow nothing is changing. Your exit velo has been the same for 6 months, your 60 time is not budging, and you're still uncommitted going into your senior year. Or maybe you're a junior watching all of your teammates get looks by college coaches while they are scrolling past your profile. And the worst part is, you don't even know what you're doing wrong anymore. Because ultimately, you are just doing what you've been told. Work hard, trust the process, stay patient, keep grinding. The truth is, none of that works. So let me tell you something that nobody else will. The reason you are stuck is not because you are not working hard enough. It's because everything you've been told about getting better is actually designed for you to stay average. I'm gonna break down the 3 biggest lies you've been told that are killing your career. And I'm gonna show you exactly what to do instead. Here we go. Lie number 1, you just need to work harder. This is the biggest, most dangerous lie in baseball development. And you've bought into it completely. I was the same, man. I was just like you. Logically, it could make sense. You think you're not getting results because you are not doing enough. So what do? You just add more. More lifts, more swings, more weights, more everything. Hard work is supposed to equal results, right? See, that's what you've been taught your entire life. But what they don't tell you is that hard work without direction is just motion. It's really just activity, it's not progress. Let me give you a real example. I had a player in my program who came to me his senior year. Uncommitted, a little bit desperate, but he was grinding his ass off. He was training 6 days a week, but his workout regimen was designed by ChatGPT. He was doing what he thought was the correct work. I mean, he was insanely dedicated. And after a couple months on that routine, can you guess how much his exit velocity actually gained? Yeah, 0. It's because he was working hard on the wrong things. His program was not built for him. It was built for a generic athlete with generic goals, generic strengths, and generic weaknesses. ChatGPT has no clue that he was leaking through his front side in his swing. It didn't know that his posture broke down in his load. It had no clue that his barrel path was not steep enough. So every single rep that he took was reinforcing his bad patterns over and over and over. He was getting really good at being really bad. And this is you right now. You're not lazy, you're not uncommitted. You're working your ass off on drills that are not aimed at your deficiencies. Yeah, you're doing weighted balls, but what about your hip hinge? What about your squat and your load? You're doing med ball routines, but your scap mobility is garbage. Your swing path is the problem, but you're gonna fix that with more reps off the tee. But here's the really bad part, and here is what traps many players. It feels productive, right? I mean, you feel sore, you feel tired, you're putting in hours, so you automatically think you are getting better. But soreness is not progress, and fatigue does not equal improvement. You don't need to work harder, you need to work on the right things. The only way to know what you need to work on is to get a real assessment from somebody who knows what they're talking about. And they need to watch you move as an individual. Not a YouTube video, not a cookie cutter program, and definitely not ChatGPT. Your specific mechanical breakdowns, your limitations, your strengths, and your weaknesses. You need to have a plan that revolves around all of those things. So that's what I did with Ryan. We stopped all the unnecessary grinding. We got him assessed and we built a program around all of those limiters. In 3.5 months, we got him up 11 miles an hour on exit velo. And it was definitely not because he was working harder, he was working smarter. So if your numbers have been the same for 3 months, do not add more volume, do not add more work. You need to add direction and structure. Lie number 2, you need to study more. You've watched a lot of swing breakdowns on YouTube. You can explain launch angle, bat path, exit velocity. You know what pronation means, you know what connection means. You've studied the elite hitters and you follow a lot of hitting gurus on Instagram. But somehow you're still stuck in this hamster wheel with your own swing. That's because you think collecting information is going to magically turn into results. But information without application is just entertainment. That's a bar, bro. It's like reading a book on surgery and then thinking you can operate on yourself. You understand the theory, you might know what a good incision looks like, but when it's time to actually make that cut, you have no idea what you're doing. Yeah, that's you with your swing. You know your bat path is off, you see it in your video, you understand the concept, but when you step into the box, you cannot feel what needs to be changed. You have no clue what cue will actually fix it. It won't, because you need a translator or a coach. Someone who can watch you move and tell you exactly what's happening within your body. And definitely not generic YouTube videos or Instagram reels. Another player in my program. He studied his mechanics for months. He was taking videos of all of his BP rounds. He knew there was something wrong in his swing, but he could not pinpoint it, and he definitely could not replicate it through feel. He did not understand what he was looking at in real time, and definitely did not know what to prioritize first in his swing. So we got on a call, I looked at his swing, in like 90 seconds, I could tell him exactly what his limiters were and how to fix it. Not theory, a specific adjustment. Within a week, his barrel path cleaned up and he was no longer leaking through his front side, because he finally had somebody who could see what he couldn't. The truth that many players don't like to hear is that you cannot be your own coach, because you are just too close to it. You can't see your own blind spots and you cannot objectively process your own movements. And it's very hard to give yourself that real-time feedback you need to make lasting changes. See, that is the difference between studying mechanics and fixing mechanics. So if you've been watching videos on YouTube, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and your swing still looks the same, stop studying and start fixing. Get somebody who actually knows what they're looking at to look at your mechanics, because every single baseball player has access to the information you have. That information will not help you unless you know how to apply it specifically. Line number 3, you're close, just keep doing what you're doing. This one is dangerous, my boy, because again, it sounds reasonable, it sounds logical, just be patient. It sounds like pretty good advice. Your exit velo is 90, but D1 almost requires 95, like you're pretty close. Your 60 is 7.2, but the D1 guy is running 6.8. Again, decently close. So everyone tells you, just keep grinding, you're almost there, stay the course. And you believe them. But you know why? Because you want to believe them. Believing them means you don't have to change anything. You just have to keep doing what you're doing, and eventually you will break through. We will always choose the path of least resistance. No changes, no stress, no decisions. But here is the honest truth. The gap between close and there is where 90% of athletes' dreams die. Because to be quite frank with you, bro, close will not get you recruited. Close will not get you on a roster. And way more importantly, you've been close for 4 months now. You're not going to get there by doing more of the same. What got you to 87 exit velocity is most likely not going to get you to 90. What got you to a 7.2 60 is not what's going to get you to a 6.8 60. The next level requires different work. Not more work, different work. It requires the elimination of deficiencies, identifying the one thing that's limiting you, and then fixing it, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. You will progress through this staircase. I was stuck at 88 exit velocity for like a year. A full year, I was just sitting there. Realistically, like 2 miles an hour away of my overarching goal of 90 EV. Everyone around me just said, keep working, it'll come. So I kept doing what I was doing, same workouts, same drills, same everything, and nothing changed. Again, the problem was not effort, it was precision. My mechanics were off and it was limiting my rotational power. I fixed that with my trainer. I was also not sequencing properly. A lot of these mechanical flaws were destroying my bat speed. I also hopped on a bat speed program, which was something I've never even heard of before this point. And boom, I went from 88 to 95, and that was off front toss. I even got to 103 off of overhand toss. Let me tell you right now, it is not because I was working harder. Again, I stopped doing random stuff, and I started to operate on a system, eliminating what was holding me back. Here's what you need to understand and listen very closely. Being close is not a strategy, it's an excuse to stay exactly where you are. And if you've been there for months, you will not break through by accident. And you need a program, not anything generic or just keep grinding, bro. Something built for you specifically. And if you don't get those fixes, you will be sitting at 87 again for another year, another season, until you eventually run out of time. So you've been almost there for 3 months, stop lying to yourself. You're not getting there alone, and you need to admit you need help. Real help from somebody who's been there and knows how to close that gap. So here's the shift you have to make. Stop believing that hard work alone is enough. You need directed work. Stop believing that studying mechanics is the same as fixing them. You need a translator who can apply that knowledge to your body and your swing. And stop believing that being close means you're on the right track. You're stuck and you need a new approach. I'm going to lay out the actionable steps right now. 1. Get an objective assessment by somebody who knows what they're talking about. Not a teammate, not a parent, somebody who has trained hundreds of players and knows your limitations and deficiencies. 2. Hop on a personalized program that attacks those deficiencies directly, built for you and what you need to fix. 3. Maintain feedback and adjustments, because what you need work on changes as you improve. You cannot follow the same program for 6 months expecting improvements. And just like Ryan, we took him from uncommitted and stuck to having multiple college options and undeniable metrics. He's not special, bro. He just had the right process. Listen up, your baseball career is not over yet, but if you keep doing what you're doing, it will end at high school. I hope you're taking notes, bro, because right now, with season right around the corner, it is go time.